Is it recording?
Yeah.
Okay, gotta
Yeah.
move my facials so I can
Gotta
talk
move
better.
your facials. Right. Welcome back to Once Upon a Mental Crisis. Woo! I'm your host, Zymore.
And I am your co-host, Macy. Yay.
And we are here to talk about friendship today.
Oh. We are here to talk about friendship. I think just over in general, but also like many other things about friendship. So, but first, let's check in with each other.
I mean, she and I, we kind of like had a situation going on at work.
Mm-hmm. Wait, I was just like talking about checking in with like how we are doing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Go on.
Yeah.
Continue. My bad.
So, with that going on, I was dealing with a lot of emotions and a lot of old emotions that I haven't felt in a long time.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, it was very similar to when I was depressed, like 6-7 years ago, where I felt really like unsure about what I was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And this time though, I felt like I dealt with it a lot better than I would have back then. Thank you. And I gave myself a lot more grace. So because I allowed myself to process it in what I feel is a healthy way, I feel a lot better now because it's very recent. It's like literally like 3-4 days ago. And I allowed myself to process everything. And then yesterday, I wanted to be productive, and I would have been, except for like having a child and all that stuff like gets in your way. And I rather prioritize my child than anything else anyways. So I wanted to like garden and stuff like that, but we're also celebrating our 7th year anniversary. Yay. Woo! So we wanted to, like my husband and I, we wanted to hang out together. So we dropped off baby at one of our mutual friends, and then he and I, we just kind of had the afternoon together. And then it was really nice just to like have a really chill, like unplanned day. And then my husband allowed me to nap, and I felt kind of crummy after a nap. Sometimes, you take a nap and you're like, you hope you feel better, but I felt crummy when I woke up. But overall, the day was still good. I'm good.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. So yeah, that's where I am right now. How about you?
I spiraled. That's how it affected me. I spiraled and had some really negative thoughts, which I don't want to say provoked, but which led me to book a therapy session just so I can talk about it and process my emotions. But other than that, I'm doing good. Like, I walked away fine, and I think I will be fine. It's just like tackling the issue head on is gonna be like the most difficult part, but other than that, I learned how to detach pretty well. So I'm just like, I'm gonna do me, continue to do me.
Yes.
And as long as we have each other and we communicate that and we support each other, I think that's what matters the most.
Yes.
So yeah.
Cool.
Also, I don't know, but I actually went back home this past weekend. And so that distance and being with family really helped me just to get things out of my mind.
Right.
And yeah, it was nice to be with my family again. So yeah,
that's good. Moving forward,
we want to thank our listeners so far.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, again, we have a lot of followers and listeners on our Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok, and our podcast. So it is just the beginning. So I know that we have been both really, really busy, but also like it's nice to see our creation grow. So yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in, and thank you to those who gave their feedback. And I'm just really excited to see how we continue to grow, and If you guys always want to share your thoughts and opinions or whatever, feel free to reach out to us. We're so totally open to it. It'll actually give us more topics to talk about, and we're really about the community. So we want to engage and be interactive with you guys.
Yes. And just a little update on our Lumina consulting agency
Studio.
studio. I'm so sorry. Yeah, we had our probably second meeting with our test subject, our guinea pig.
Yeah,
what should we call her?
Our volunteer.
Our volunteer, yes. And I think it went well. Like, we're very impressed with the way we handle our meetings and stuff. So we're really excited. So that's kind of a little sneak peek about that.
Yeah.
So on this episode of Friendship, we want to talk about, let's start with like our personal thoughts on friendship. Yeah. For me, this is interesting because our dynamics are so different. Because I grew up in a big family. Yeah. Right? So I grew up with like 10 older siblings and then 2 younger sisters. And so like I was always in this busy home with this crazy energy. And then I have 8 brothers who are older than me, so I grew up really rough. Like I was such like a tomboy back then. So like making friends, I was like super bossy in school and stuff. I think I was a pretty much in general a bright child.
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends. I also grew up with like my first cousins on my mom's side, and so it's like I had a sisterhood there too.
Right.
So and it's so funny when we were younger, my cousin would be like, who would you choose, your friends or me?
Oh my gosh.
It's so cute. So like I always saw her, she was family versus like friends. So I always had this like competition or comparison when it came to friend or family. But I think in general I made like making friends was pretty like easy for me. I think as you get older, it's kind of hard to make friends now.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you, but yeah, that's pretty much my general thought on friendships thus far, and we can dig deeper.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, like you said, we had different dynamics. So for you had a big family. For me, I had a small family. Like in comparison to like traditional Hmong families, we had a small family. It was my 2 older brothers and then me. So only 3 kids, and that's very small. Whereas like families are normally like at least 5 or 6 kids. And then I was also the only daughter. So like growing up, if I didn't have like my friends or my cousins, then it would just basically be me playing by myself, because my brothers would, they told me now that they never invited me to play video games with them, because they thought like video games wasn't a girl thing. And I'm a total video gamer. But anyways, yeah, so that dynamic. And then also my dad was very strict. So he didn't really let my friends come over. He didn't really let me go over. So like growing up, like up until like maybe like high school, friendship was kind of weird. Like friendship was only at school. And I never really had anybody really, really close other than my relatives. But like for me, relatives was like different. Like for me, relatives was family, like my first cousins actually lived outside of Wisconsin, so I was friends with my dad's cousins kids. But of course they just call them cousins because that's just easier, right? So I grew up with them, and they were like, we were very close, and we like there was like kind of a sisterhood there. But I was like the oldest one out of my girl cousins. There was a girl cousin older than me, but there was such a distance between us that we were close, but not that close. Like we just like, we were cool basically. So for me, friendship was at school, and then at home it was just family.
Right. Yeah, talking about like going over to your friends, like I rarely had friends come over to my place because it's a crazy house. I was like, I don't want to be. I don't want my friends over here. It's messy. It's crazy. And I think in a sort of way, I was kind of like ashamed or embarrassed for my family. So I always went to my friends, my besties' place, and she only lived like 1 street over. But it's because she was the youngest in her family, so like they didn't really have a lot of people in their family. So it was just like her place was like my escape. Like I always went over to her place, and yeah, so it was really really fun.
Yeah, no, it's not until like maybe senior year high school or like until college. Like I rarely had anyone come over, and I never went over to anyone's houses, like unless they were family. Yeah, so it was a rough childhood for me.
Yeah. And also, like, I went to my friend's place so frequently, like, I didn't really have to ask my parents for permission. I just walk out the house. Like, I was that kid.
Oh my god, I wish I could have done that.
I was that kid. Okay, so do we define friendships by acquaintance and, like, close friends? Like, there's, like, layers of friendship, right? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if someone asks me, oh, what's your relationship with this person, then maybe I'll think about it. But, like when you and I first got to know each other, like I consider us friends, not really acquaintances. Like to me, I don't really know what an acquaintance is. Like just like someone you know, right?
Yeah. Right. Well, for me, like I think because social media is so big nowadays, like you just have friends on Facebook, but to me, friendship's so much more complex. But like. Yeah, like I feel for me, acquaintance is like, someone I met through a mutual friend or something, and then we add each other, and that's it. Like, that's an acquaintance to me. But friends are like someone that probably I shared more of myself with, and then we probably have a connection, and we'll probably like talk more than an acquaintance would. So that was a friend. And then close friends are obviously people that I can trust. And that like I have confided into, have been more vulnerable with. Yeah, those are my close friends. And then on top of that are my besties. And like they're like my inner circle. You know, they're like my go-to people when I have to talk about something. Closeness is intimacy between us. And then they're soulmates.
Whoa! Got to another level.
I'm just very layered. Just kidding. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Or
I mean, if you say it that way, then like, people who I met through like our mutual friends, then they're my acquaintance now. Like I know of them, and like we're friendly, but we necessarily wouldn't call each other friends.
Exactly.
And then I think it just immediately goes to like best friends from there.
Wow. Wait, just from acquaintance to best friends?
Yeah.
There's no in between.
I don't know. I guess I never really analyzed it that way because like I have different friend groups. Like I've always had like different friend groups coming up, and like different friend groups are for like different reasons in a way, you know? So like if we look at our coworkers, to me, they're like family friends. I see them every day. I get along with them pretty well. And like, I guess I would consider them close. And I guess, in your way, like, they would become your best friends if we came deeper. Because like you and I are coworkers, but like we're like best friends because you and I, we have a deeper level of understanding.
Yeah, outside of work as well.
Right, exactly. We hang outside of work. So I guess that would make the difference between like your close friends at work and then like your coworkers who you meet outside of work. Right. And then for my friends who I've known since I was in high school, like those are my best friends because like we've grown up together and we're still really good friends. They're also like family too. Like I call them my sisters as well. Aww. Yeah. So I think for me, like once I've accepted you in my heart, you're just family, I guess. Yeah. Because I grew up without like a sister.
Right.
So like if I connect with you and we're in a very amicable relationship, then like you just become family because I've accepted you into my life and I would like to keep you in my life.
I use the word family very rarely because there's your blood family, and then there's like your chosen family.
Yeah.
But I think I just have my own family trauma that like, of course, like, there's groups of people who I are like my close circle, but I necessarily don't really call them family.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you feel like home to me, then that's like a sense of family.
Yeah.
But it's really hard for me to get there with certain people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I have best friends, besties who I call my sisters. Like Zaya is definitely a sister to me. But there's like a very specific feeling and like level for you to even get there for me. And I guess I've grown pickier. And I think you should be pickier.
Yeah.
When you're older and you know, you gotta be pickier about who you let in. Because I had my fair share of like friendship disappointments and like just friendship tests and stuff.
I guess my trauma is more like, it's, I don't even know the word, but it's like more based on my loneliness. So that's why I'm more willing to open up to people and more willing to like let people in, because like I grew up lonely. So like I want to build my circle and I want to have more people in my life. Whereas you, it's different.
It's a disappointment.
Yeah.
But even if I have my own disappointment, like I'm still open to making friends. Like I'm not like I know there's people in this world who are like just bitter and who are just so closed off. But like when you meet me, I'm actually very like friendly still.
Yeah.
It's just like the level of how much I'll open up to you is the difference. So yeah. And I'm pretty vulnerable too. Like I will share anything.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
But there's parts of me where I hold myself back from sharing or getting close to. So
Yeah.
But for example, I wouldn't call my work team family.
Yeah. To our next question is like, is it difficult for us to make friends?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. No, generally doesn't. It's not hard for me to make friends. But however, I feel like I'm such a weirdo. So like, I don't know if people want to make friends with me. But like, I approach people all the time.
I don't think you're a weirdo at all.
Okay.
Well, okay, so let me...
Because we're weirdos.
Yeah, it's actually, like, I'm a weirdo too, and I feel like everybody in the world is, like, a weirdo in their own kind of way, right? Yeah. And that's... For me, it's not difficult to make friends, but it is difficult for me to approach someone to become their friend.
Yes.
So, like, when I first started working at the studio, I guess I was a little bit on guard because of my past work experience. But even in that case, I'm like, I really want to get to know these people. I really want to get along with people I work with. And like in general, I just want to get along with people. So like, is it difficult for me to make friends? No, but it is difficult for me to like approach them and like be like, hey, do you want to hang out?
Right. Yeah, sometimes like I'm just sitting next to a stranger and then we just strike a conversation.
See, I couldn't do that. That's where my introvertness comes in.
But I'm introvert too.
I know, but like, there's like a spectrum.
Are you an introvert? I thought you were an extrovert too.
So how I explain it is, I'm definitely an ambivert.
Yeah, me too.
Right, but I like each of us is different in our own aspect, right? For me, I love being by myself, crowded by people.
Okay.
Yeah, so like if you put me in an airport and I'm just playing on my phone, I love it.
Really?
If I'm at a party and I'm just playing on my phone, I love it because I'm in my own space, but I like the energy of people around me. And then like if I actually interact too much, like if I spend like a whole day with a team, then I'm like, okay, I need like an hour or two by myself. But normally that's right before bedtime, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
So like I'm okay with like spending a whole day with the team, and then as long as I have like a little bit of time to unwind before bedtime, I'm good. So that's my dynamic.
Mine's similar. I feel like in crowds I don't feel such like social anxiety as much. But when there's like a group dynamics in that sense, because like I rather make connections through one-on-one. So speed dating.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when we first met, she held that first speed dating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like speaking in a group. And
Yeah.
that's why I always like, because there's people who are very out there, extroverted, they'll just take the spotlight. But for me, I get intimidated by that.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm more comfortable with being in the shadows, being a wallflower. Because I'm like, I don't like being in that group dynamic. But if it was like breakout room where I'm like speaking to someone one-on-one, I love and I thrive in that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like that's just my dynamic.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call that, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what that's called either, but I feel like that's pretty normal for introverts too.
Yeah.
Like they don't like big groups, they don't like big crowds, they rather be on one-on-one.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets confusing for me as an introvert. Is like I actually like the bigger groups. I like both actually. Like I like being able to like interact with the whole group, and like I love icebreaker games, and I love like where we do group activities together. And then like if I notice that someone is being an introvert, then I will like gravitate towards them and be like, let's be extroverts together because I know how it feels, you know. And then maybe because like I'm that kind of person where like I know that you're an introvert,
Well, yeah,
and that makes me.
You're also like, very empathic too.
Yeah, that's true. So like, yeah. So yeah, I guess like at a party, at our social parties, right? I'm not gonna go to a random student and be like, "Hi, how you doing?" If they're from like a different studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if it's from like the same studio, I know it's also my job, and I also like I need to be like the energetic, bubbly person. Yeah. Same thing if we go to competitions. Like I'm not gonna be like, "Hi, my name is I." Like I'd rather someone introduce me, and then I will get to know someone.
Opposite.
I know.
I feel both parts that you don't do.
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah, for sure. Like, if I see someone, I'll approach them, or like there's like literally a group of three, for example, and I'm not talking to this third person who I don't even know. I'll be like, I am the first to be like, "Hi, I am Macy." Like, I just do that because I'm like. But then again, I can't really stand awkward silence, so I just have to break that ice. You know, I have to be the first one to break that ice. I was gonna say something, but I totally forgot. Oh, I understand being an ambivert too. Because I mean, I have experience where I've been like president of a student org, and I don't know how that even came out of me.
Yeah,
because I'm such an introvert, but I feel like. In college, I was very extroverted. Like, my extrovert qualities definitely came out. And I was, like, leading a group, making so many connections and networking. But there was also a trauma after college that made me, like, just want to seclude myself. So there's, like, you know, that kind of, like, experience or circumstances, too, that made me become more introverted. But, yeah, sometimes, of course, I mean, and I'm a marketing manager. Balance where I'm like, okay, I have to make that come out. But also after that, I'm like, I'm going to... Like, I'm gonna, like, seclude myself. And even, okay, so we went to New Orleans recently, and we had a whole 3-4 days just being with her and her daughter. And then after the trip, I'm like, I am gonna isolate myself. I had a great time with you and baby, but I have to be alone.
Which I totally get.
Yeah. So, yeah, what do friendships mean to you, personally? Like, you know, I guess overall, in a sense, even... I guess could we rate it on a scale?
Or like, what are your thoughts?
Because I feel like as human, like if you go to the most basic human needs, of course, I think social life is such a big part of being a human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like it makes me think of the study done with like babies. So like I forgot what year it was and what hospital it was, but it's basically there was this select group of babies that were separated from their parents, and they were put in this ward that only like the nurses and the doctors would go in, but like the nurses and doctors were not allowed to like hug them, kiss them, like touch was only based on like medical necessity. Otherwise they were left in the basket by themselves. So like our basic instinct, our basic needs to like be able to thrive and survive is based off of human connection. And as babies, human connection is built off of physical touch, obviously. And then because of physical touch, that's how we build our social meter. Like, how comfortable are we to like interact with other people? It all stems from childhood. I'm going to like psychology here.
No, we love it. Love it.
But yeah, like if you think of it that way, like without physical touch, from when we're babies, we don't really build like a healthy mindset of building a friendship or like in any other social setting.
Right.
So like for me personally, friendship means a lot to me, because for me, I connect friendship with being family, because growing up, the only friends that I really had outside of school was my family, my cousins. So family and friendship correlates, and like outside of family, I didn't have that sisterhood. I only had friends at school. And so when I was at school, I needed that social group to thrive at school. And then now that I'm no longer in school, like outside of my own family, I need people to connect with. I need sisters in my life. And that's why friendships are important to me. And that's why I rather like work it through with somebody than just be like, okay, we're not friends anymore.
Gotcha. Yeah. As you said that, like, I kept thinking like, yeah, what's the importance of friendship? What do they mean to me? And first thing I thought of was Naruto. If anything, Naruto teaches you about what it means to have friends. Oh, I'm getting emotional. I love that anime so much. But right, like, it's all about friendship, camaraderie, and everything. And that's essentially it. Like. Now, but you said something about like how friendship means just as much to you as family. It's actually like for me, a friendship separates me from my family. Like I guess I use friendship as like a place that where I didn't feel safe at in a family. Friendship was where I went to. Like it is like my escape, or whatever. No,
it's similar. Yeah, because. Like at home, I didn't have anyone really to like connect with personally. My brothers didn't really open up in that kind of way until later on in our years, and then also they're boys, so like they couldn't relate to like me being on period or me like having emotions or like me dating boys. Like I couldn't connect with them in that way, and I couldn't really connect with my parents on that because I didn't really want to, as a kid. You don't want to talk to your parents about boys and periods and all that things. So like, so being able to have friends outside of the home, those were the girls that I could talk to.
For sure.
Those were the people that I could be like, hey, I'm on my period today. I may be a little bit cranky, or like, I could cry to them and not feel guilty, and not feel shamed or judged because I have emotions.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. What are your important qualities in order to make friends?
Just don't backstab people and like be two-faced and be a good communicator. Like I can always be friends with somebody, but I'm not a person who can always. I know I say like I'd rather work on things than like separate our friendships, but I'm also someone who's like, okay, if you don't value me as a person, then I'm gonna value myself as a person, and I'm gonna sever this friendship.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I've been friendships where like it's so unhealthy and you just have to choose yourself. Like you'd rather walk away than continue to be something unhealthy. So
yeah. And I'm someone who I can hold a grudge. Like one of my friends that I don't talk to anymore, like it's been years, like will I ever be friends with her? No. Wow. No. Like I really hate stupid people. Like people who are narcissistic and they don't think for other people other than themselves. Selfish. And they don't even think for themselves too. Like the people who really don't think
That's
for
dumb.
themselves. Yes, exactly. So yeah, like that person was very, 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 very unintelligent. Like emotionally and like maturity, she was just not there. Yeah. And whether or not she has bettered herself, I don't know, but I don't want to be a part of that anymore because I tried
Yeah.
and nothing changed, and I don't want to longer try anymore.
Good job. I think for me, like I can tolerate a lot in like relationships and friendships, but once I feel disrespected, it's like game over. I like cold face, just walk away, shut down everything. I like block them. I'm like I'm really good with just like cutting it off. Once I feel disrespected, I'm like dead. And I give people a lot of chances. I'm a Pisces. I'm an empath. I give a lot of chances. I'm very forgiving. But it's like, damn, when my own best interests are not being considered, when I'm not getting that communication, that's just really disrespectful. So yeah. But I guess qualities, the positive qualities,
Right.
are definitely like loyalty, trust. I look for someone who's willing to share and like be open with me. I'm not really into people who also have their own trust issues, and I'm not that type who will like push you to open up to me. I'm very like, when you're ready to open up, I'm here.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna push you. Like I'm not someone who pressures people. Like I am like whatever your comfort level is, and someone who there's people who are just like very private and close themselves off, which is like good for you. But I'd rather not be with that, like friends with that person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like to reciprocate. If you treat me
Exactly.
nice, I'm gonna treat you nice. And then if somehow our friendship continues to grow, that's great. If not, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right?
And also, I'm a very giving person, so when you notice people who are just like that take energy, I'm like, okay, this is not it. Like,
Yeah, that was my ex-friend. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also a giver too, and she was just like taking, and any time that I said no, she would question me on why I was not giving anymore.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna even try to explain it because she won't understand it. And yeah.
So what are some important boundaries that you set?
I don't verbally set any boundaries with people.
Why you're not communicating? I'm kidding.
Because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
You know? Like, I know that I'm flawed, imperfect, and I will say things that may upset you, which, you know, it's happened. And I know that there will be times that you may say things that will upset me.
Say or
Say.
Okay.
Yeah, say or even do,
Yeah.
you know? But I guess I don't think about the boundaries actively. I am someone who just gives you the benefit of the doubt, and then once something happens where I feel a little bit like uncertain or like I feel upset, then that's when I will acknowledge, okay, so this happened, I feel this way, okay, let me bring it up to them. And then once we have that communication, then that boundary is set between us.
Right.
And then if it happens again, then we'll just see. I'm also a very forgiving person. You know, like there's certain things that I will forgive quite easily. Like with my ex-friend, like I broke off our friendship like 2 times before. Like I officially broke it off.
Right.
So like I'll give you a first chance, second chance, and maybe even a third chance. But after a while, if I recognize that it's just not healthy, then I'll break it off. But like for me, that's so rare because you really have to be like a piece of shit, pardon my language, for me to like actually dislike you. I don't like disliking people. So that's why I don't put up boundaries right away. I want to like you, but if you made me dislike you, that's on you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes me think of myself. What's like when you like when you dislike them, like that's like the whatever boundary, whatever.
Right.
For me, it's like, shit, where does I go with this? Oh yeah, don't push me till I get to my ugly side. Like, I'm usually a very loving person, but it's like when you do something, you get to see the ugly side of me. And she recently saw that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, boundaries. For me, I think it's like I am very introspective, so like I will reflect a lot. I'm like, what did this person do that did not make me feel good about myself? And so I'm like, okay, I think about this. Okay, maybe next time this is something I don't want to happen. So I mean, of course, I agree. Like, you don't really tell people first because you want to like put that in your mindset. Kind of, it's like a mental practice. Like, you have to practice mentally. Like, the next time it happens, how am I gonna like deal with it next time? So I usually just like, okay, remember next time if something like this happens, I have to like how I'm gonna react to it differently. But yes, but I eventually communicate. Like, I'm just like, hey, I don't like this when you do that. Can you, I don't know. I've laid boundaries with her before, so I'm trying to remember what I've done.
Well, I was just gonna ask you, like, do you want to talk about boundaries that we have, in general?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
remind me what boundaries
I know, I'm trying to think.
No, I think for us, boundary, because we're friends, but also at work, and I take my work very seriously, and I'm always very zoned in.
I don't.
Yeah, and so she would, like, throw things at me, or, like, she would, like, playfully, like, tease me and stuff. I'd be just like, I actually don't like it when you throw things at me. Because but I explained her why, because like it's family trauma. Like I in general I don't like being things thrown at me because I feel like it's really disrespectful. So then yeah, there's like one of those boundaries that we set, and also it's like when it comes to time and attention, we've talked about that. Outside of other friendships that I've had, I feel like when people take from you, like especially energy, there's people who just suck your energy, and sometimes you just gotta be like, okay, I'm not gonna pick up their phone calls. I'm only gonna, it's only like I know who you're thinking. Yeah, like you have to set these boundaries where like they just suck your energy, or they only come to you when they need you. Oh, I hate those people the most. And I have to set a boundary. I'm like, no, like I'm not gonna put myself in a situation more, and like more often than that, So yeah, oh my gosh, we could talk about boundaries, but they're very important to talk about. Because for me, I used to be a person who didn't have boundaries at all, and I would just people please, and I just had people walk all over me. Well, I'm like, oh, once you set that boundary, it will save your life and energy. And mentality.
It's hard as an empath. Like, we're both empathetic people. Is because, like, we always just want to help people. And then when we help people and they're like, oh, I know this person will help me feel better in this situation, so let me contact them. But then, like, when the situation's done and over with, then it's like, oh, okay, then they don't talk to you anymore. And... yeah, I definitely want to highlight why friendship is so important to me. Like, through my friendship journeys, because my lowest was, with that one specific friend. But my highest is actually with the current friends that I have met. I've known since I was like 17 or like 14.
Let's talk about the highs, because we talk about the lows.
Exactly. So, I have my two good friends. Are we going to name names or not?
If you don't mind. If they don't mind.
Yeah, I probably talked about them anyways. Yeah. So my two really good friends from high school, Becca and Sarah, we've known each other since like freshman year. I think since like orientation day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's special.
You're right. And we literally have grown up together. We've all gone through our own like highs and lows, friendship wise and like personal journey wise. And like they're my sisters. Like, they're really my sisters because we grew up together, you know, and my parents know about them. Do my parents remember their name? Not necessarily, but they, if I describe who they are, then they'll be like, oh yeah, that girl. Because they're not good with American names. And then yeah, their parents know me, and we've just shared a lot of like life celebrations together, and that's what makes them really close to me. It's like we've shared so much in our experience together, and now my friend Becca and I, we both have daughters who are very close in age. So it's just nice to have someone who is kind of going through the same thing as you. And then outside of those two, I have my two other best friends, Lisa and Wendy. I actually met Wendy first at my job at the mall, and then I met Lisa through Wendy like a few years later, and they're my ride to die girls. Like, I know that if I need them, I can call them. And Wendy taught me so much about mental health and emotional intelligence that when I was telling my husband when we first started dating about all my trauma and all like how strict my dad was, he was like, how did you turn out so okay? I was like, because of Wendy. Because Wendy, she's my older sister. She guided me. She listened to me. I was able to be vulnerable with her, and she gave me the grace to like allow myself to be open and forgive me when I made a mistake. And if I ever made her upset, she always let me grow with her. And then Lisa, you know, it took us a few years to get close, but right now I realize that Lisa and I also have a lot of things in common. We're both very like craft artsy people, and I love the way she, you know, treats Anara. Like Wendy and I, we both have daughters as well, and Lisa just like picks up the auntie role naturally. Like she nurtures, she cares, and like I just, you know, love that part of Lisa, and I feel like she's just a very like beautiful soul. And then of course you, like, who would have known what would have happened since our first event that I created, the speed dating. Like, I wouldn't have known that it would have built such like a strong like relationship with you, and like would lead us to where we are now. So like those, I guess these you 5 people are my highest of the high, because we've gone through shit together, but we've made it out, and I have a strong feeling that we'll continue to work it out. At least I hope so. And yeah, so those are my highs.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Of course.
We're so blessed to have you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you're fortunate to have such a circle, supportive circle too.
Yeah,
we all need that.
I'm so grateful for them.
Yeah.
And for you.
What do you think? Okay, let's like kind of like talk about like common interests or like the commonalities of you and your friendship. Like, what do you think made that work? Like, what kind of common and like values with your friends that you guys have that just made it work?
Yeah. So in high school, like we were like, we were just we didn't fit anywhere. You know, like to me, Sarah was kind of more like gothy, dark, but she was also very goofy and like just very funny. And then Becca was very quiet and like very introverted. Like she is like the epitome of introvert.
Wow.
Yes. And then I'm like the loud, like I was very loud and very like goofy too. So then, and like we just connected that way because we were all like different from each other, but we're also different from everyone else.
Right.
Yeah. And we just continue to bond that way. I think that's why. I mean, we just always had fun together. And then for Wendy and Lisa, same kind of thing. Although, like, I'm more of the introvert.
Really?
When we first started,
Oh,
like,
okay.
I was more of the introvert. Like, Lisa's an introvert too, but Wendy is definitely more of like the more extroverted person. She's very outgoing, and she like connects with people and networks with people. So I fed off of that energy, because like you will never find two introverts together without like an extrovert. Like in my mind.
Really? I have to look at that now.
Yeah. Like I feel like one introvert always has an extroverted friend, and vice versa.
I seen a meme about that.
Yeah.
It's like an introvert will always be adopted by an extrovert.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and I was the one adopted by Wendy.
That's so funny.
But what really connected was when we were working on Cinnabon together. Yeah. So like Wendy was the one who trained me at Cinnabon. So like she taught me a lot of like the core values of how to be a good worker, and not only was she a good trainer, she was also really friendly and really nice, and like I like those years kind of blurred together, but I just remember really, really, really being fond of her, and she just really took care of me. Yeah, and then right now the three of us, me, Wendy, and Lisa, we just do fun things together, and we experiment things together, and they're my emotional intelligence group of friends. Like we talk about deep things, and like, not saying that my other group doesn't, but like we'll dive into like weird things.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that's what connects us all together.
I like that.
Do you want me to talk about you?
Sure. I mean, I'm curious.
Okay. Well, I probably have told you a little bit of this already, but you're like the sister. You're like the Hmong sister I never had. Okay? I didn't really have a lot of Hmong friends growing up because, well, when I was in grade school and middle school, I did have Hmong friends. But they were like a group of like girls, like group of Hmong girls. There was just like one friend here and there. And then my dad put me in private school, like starting the middle of middle school and then into high school. So like I didn't know any Hmong people unless they were family. And then when I got to college, I did meet like a Hmong friend. But then like for you, it's so different because I met you outside of school, of work. I met you online.
Yeah.
And then I was just very intrigued. And then you showed me a different side of Hmong people that I've like never seen before.
Okay.
Because to me, in my head, because the only Hmong people I knew were like either family or like I used to sell life insurance, and like there were a lot of Hmong people in there, and the girls in that group were so like catty. Like they're all just about fashion and like gossip and drama. Not saying that we're not, but
yeah,
like I felt so judged by them. I didn't fit in with them, but with you, it just felt right. And then before we even met in person, we had to deal through a lot of drama with our friend group online, and I saw just how emotionally intelligent you are. You're very mature, and you're also very forgiving, and that's just traits that I really like in a person. And then when you came to work with me, we were able to get closer because you're literally forced to see me like almost every day, and
can't escape it.
No. And then to me, it's like yay, because now you're no longer just this person online.
Yeah.
You're a real person in front of me, and you share all your vulnerabilities with me. You're very open, and it just opened another window of opportunity for us to get to know each other on a deeper level. And we just have fun together. We're so goofy together. Like literally during practice parties at the studio when we first started like working, and we didn't really take dancing lessons, we would just do the push-pull together, right? And she would make me laugh so hard that I literally peed on myself, not once but 2 times. 2 times, different separate occasions. So like that's what I enjoy about having you as a friend. It's like we just mess around, and even after messing around, we can still like be serious sometimes, and we can have like deep conversation. We can have serious conversations, and like one thing I love the most, okay, is my husband said, or what? No, you said it. You said, "Oh yeah, Ty's your friend too," and I was like, "Huh." No one's ever said that before. None of my friends have ever said that my husband is also their friend. So I'm like, oh, okay. So then I'm like, that's why you're stuck forever.
Yeah. Well, it's also very important. I told her this. I'm like, of course he's my friend because like I sleep over at your place. I love your daughter. Of course I'll try to get to know your husband. Like I just feel like he's a part of you already. Of course I'll like. It's not even a no. It's like a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
Like there's no distinction. Oh, that's her husband. Like no, like he's a human too. So of course I will just get to know him. Yeah.
With that being said, though, I think the reason why my other friends don't feel the same way is because they knew me before they knew Ty.
Yeah.
But you knew me and Ty at almost the same time.
I mean,
kind
you were
of
married with. Like, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's a very interesting. Like, I don't because like I never had this kind of friendship before. Because even if when I met her online, I'm like, yeah, I have a Hmong friend online, or like I have a friend down here and at work and stuff. So it's really new for me as well. But I guess we'll start from my friendship journey. Of course, I grew up with my first best friend ever, and my longest friendship is her Ocean. I met her since 5th grade, but she knew me before that. It's just like I didn't really like. She's like those girls who were just like in the background and everything. But our friendship really blossomed in 5th grade and on. She opened my world to dance. We did K-pop. Like she introduced me to like Korean bands, and we danced to Korean music. She was like literally my first dance partner. We like started a dance cruise together. I go to her place and we just practice and dance and dance and dance. And then we joined like our dance team in high school. So I went through a whole journey with her, and she was like literally my best friend. Yeah. My BFF. Then college happened. She went out of state. Even if life kind of like, separates people, we would like meet each other like at least once a year, like during the holidays and stuff. And it's like been the longest friendship I've had. That like there was a point in our 20s that it had to die, but also reborn. Like we hit a point in our friendship where we were like, we're no longer girls. We're actually adults, you know? And who are we to each other now and stuff? Like, I think once we got over that, like, it was like a new level of friendship. So, and I think that's so important when we talk about friendships, relationships, that, yeah, sometimes you will hit the point, but you also have to reevaluate and reflect. And sometimes things naturally die out, and that's normal. But sometimes things just have to reinvent itself, and that's so important. So I had that, and then along the way, to this day, I have 2 girlfriends from high school who I still keep in touch with. The funny one is this girl named Pang. We met each other in 3rd grade, and we were friends, but then I was really mean, and so we stopped being friends. But then somehow in high school, she joined my circle of friends again. So then we still like hang out and meet up every now and then. We just kind of like continued off of where our friendship was, and we've gone into adulthood. She became like a college roommate once, and we kind of like grew up together in that sense as adults. And I call these girls like my timeless friends, because I love friends where you don't see each other often, but then when you do, you catch up and you just update each other's life. You're proud of each other's successes. You continue to support each other's growth, and no matter how difficult that can be sometimes, like you just grow with them. I think that's such an important thing about friendship. And then I have another friend. Her name is Call, and our friendship really grew in college. but she is like the girl who I've had the most like ups and downs with. Like it's crazy. Like because like by then I was like in our 20s, and we love dance. Like there's so much about each other that are so similar. We love being goofy with each other. We're weird with each other, and there's some complexities in our friendship that was just so difficult. Like our personalities, sometimes are very difficult or very different, but we seem to make it work somehow. But at the end, like we always come back to each other, and I think that's why I regard her as a soulmate sometimes, because like I don't think there's any other soul or connection that we have that I could find anywhere else when it comes to her. So she's that special, so she better know it, bitch.
I was just gonna say, she better know.
And it's like, I think friendships that continue to push each other are very important. Of course, we had our frustrations, but the fact that we forgive each other, we provide each other grace, and just continue to support each other unconditionally. I think that's really, really important to have. And then there's you. Gosh, what can I say that you already said already or that you haven't said?
Yeah.
But I guess it's when we first met, she was known as the godmother, but for me, she never felt like a godmother to me. She was like a sister to me. Like we were each other. I was on par, on like equal with her.
Yeah.
So like, but I don't know. It's like something about her made me feel that way. I never felt like, oh, she was a mother figure to me. We just we just understood each other on an equal level.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that really helped the way I see you. Because then, like, although we are like sisters, you're an older sister to me. And I never really had a good older sister role model. And so I'm really like grateful that I have Zai, who like looks out for me, who reminds me of how the good things I deserve when I feel like trash. When I'm the most like days where like I don't think I'm deserving, she always reminds me that. And you need that person in your life, So yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. I knew I was gonna cry this episode. I guess we'll just not talk about no more trauma breakups. At least in my life, I probably had 2 really impactful breakups in my life that really made me feel like, oh, I should be a better person, or like it's just like changed the perception of myself and others as well. Yeah,
same. Like one was, I guess just to make it sound easier, the first friendship breakup I had was mostly her fault, but I also played a part. Yeah. But I played a part in it too.
Yeah, of course.
So it made me reflect on what kind of person do I want to be to someone else, and what boundaries should I have.
Yeah.
Like I want to give, I want to love, but I also don't want to be taken advantage of, right? And then the second friendship break I had was more my fault, because I didn't know how to communicate my boundaries. Like she, I am not religious at all. Like I'm not Christian. I did go to Catholic school, but like I'm just went for the education. I'm not a religious person at all. But for her, she's a very, very Christian, and everything that she said was Christian based. And I'm someone who's willing to accept anybody into my friendship group. But when it became all that she talked about, it really just threw me off. And I didn't know how to communicate that with her. Yeah. So I basically ghosted her. Yeah. And I felt really, really guilty.
Have you ever mentioned to me about her before? This is my first time hearing
about it.
Yeah,
this is the first time. Because it's not something I'm proud of. Like... I feel very guilty because I should have just told her, because I ghosted her, it caused her a lot of trauma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, like, I can never make it what it used to be, and I take a lot of fault in it. And I don't really expect her to forgive me. We are on cordial terms now because I apologized and we were able to communicate and like talk things out, and we're not as close as we used to be, but once in a while we'll be like, hey, happy birthday, or like, Merry Christmas. We'll like greet each other, or like if I think of her, I'll text her, and vice versa. And I let this friendship be on her plate. However she wants to treat me, I'll let it, because I lost my privilege to be a good friend to her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's my second friendship breakup.
Wow. About the person when they're willing to, accept their flaws and faults and take accountability. Good job.
Thank you.
I am not a perfect person either. My first friendship breakup was actually in 5th grade. It's so funny to say that now. But no, it was with Pink, with the friend I mentioned before. It was over a ball. Like, over a ball. I stole it from her, and I was like super bossy about it. And then I didn't, like, in my head, I can still replay that moment because I didn't realize how mean I was. Because the next few days, she just kind of like stopped talking to me. And I realized what I did. And I remember days and weeks after that incident, I was like walking around the park all alone, just like reflecting. I'm like, wow, I'm such a shitty person. And it was like the time where 5th grade was ending and you're going to go to middle school.
Yeah.
And so I told myself, from now on, moving forward, when I go to middle school, I'm going to be a kinder person. I'm going to be a better person. So 5th grade to 6th grade, she's a complete new gal.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was my first friendship breakup.
Wow, that was deep.
It's it impacts a child.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then in college was my second like friendship breakup. This one is really hard to talk about for me, because I guess I don't know. It had a lot of components, because like this girlfriend of mine, she just got into a relationship, and I guess I did something on my end which is very like impulsive and I guess very mean to her partner. And I apologized, but then after that it just kind of went downhill, and we both never really came to terms with it. I said things that I probably regretted, and it is what it is. And that then a lot of people were involved in that friendship as well, and it just kind of separated the group. And yeah, but you know what, I don't regret it. Like, it's okay. Life goes on. But that one put me to depression for a whole year. Because I really trusted this person. I really loved this person. She was like a sister to me. And so for us to be like rift apart was like, it's upsetting. But then again, I don't think I would ever be friends with this person again anyways. By the way, they prioritized me and in their life. So it's okay. Yeah. I've had other ones after, but they're just kind of minor. But yeah. Friends will come and go. You just gotta know who you are and who your circle is.
Yeah.
And what matters is that you have fun. Have fun in your friendships. Be goofy. The ones that you're most like authentic about and goofy with, those are the ones that truly matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, how do we see our friendship? Even though we kind of
we already talked about it.
So, yeah, how are we navigating our friendships as coworkers and business partners?
It's all fun to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, okay, so can we dive?
Go ahead.
How deep are you willing to dive?
I don't know. Ask away.
Okay. So when this current situation occurred.
Yes.
And
oh my God.
Yeah, and you're like, I need a break. I'm like, fuck.
Yes. Because once this incident happened, I had to I felt like I didn't matter in any case at all. And I felt very used. And I felt like maybe she uses me too, So like I had to just like put everything on pause and like need to reevaluate where my life is or who I am in people's lives. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it, like, that was like a double whammy for me because I was already dealing with the current situation, like, finding something out, and then knowing that you were going through it, and then when you brought that you needed a break, like, I went back through my trauma of, like, I've tried doing businesses with people. I've tried doing a podcast with people. I've tried doing all this stuff, and it triggered, like, oh fuck, I'm gonna be alone again.
Stop.
So that's why I'm like, okay, I will allow you to take a break and a pause.
She will never let me go.
But because you needed it, I'm like,
the pause?
you need the pause. Okay. You need to think things through. Yeah. I totally get it. Yeah. So I'm not gonna be like, no, you cannot. I'm not gonna be like that because it's unfair. Like, I know exactly what's going on. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'm pretty sure she's going through something, and I'm gonna give her the time and the grace to reflect on everything. Let me just put my thoughts out there. Yeah. And then I told her through Messenger, I was like, I just, I'm gonna give you your space, but let me just lay this card down right here, okay? And I want you to, this is my dog. I want you to read it. You don't have to respond to it. You don't have to do anything with it. I just want you to know that these are my feelings and my thoughts. And, like, I was like, how do I say this in a way that doesn't make me sound selfish? That I want to give you the grace, but I also want to let you know how much you mean to me. And I think that's very important when you are in a friendship and also a business together, because I want to respect you as a person, as a friend. But this is also something that you and I would build together. Yeah. And I can't continue this without you. Like, this, all of this is now a part of you. And if you're not there, then this doesn't exist anymore. Yeah.
The key word she used was entity. We were our own entity outside of this space that we were in. And that's true. It's very true. Like, and also, although I was like spiraling, I also told myself I am not gonna make any big decisions while I'm very emotional. So of course, like, I just need to pause. But I'm like, when it comes to ending things or making big decisions, I'm like, no, do not act on it. Just wait it out. Just like wait it out. So, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Like, the whole time I'm like, okay. I'm on a roller coaster right now.
I'm sorry. And I tell her I'll always be dramatic first, but after that, just give me some time, and I'm like, I'll calm down. But yeah, no, like, definitely we are still navigating our friendship. I told her because, like, I mean, we have years and years of our own friendships, and ours just kind of really started within this past year or last year. So it's very new. But we've gone through a lot already together, and we'll continue to go through things. And this is probably just one minor test in our business relationship. So, yeah.
Like, I swear, like, our relationship has gone through so much more in like 1 year than it has with my other friends.
Oh, wow. Really? But you know what? Wait, but I don't know why horoscopes popped in my head. Because I'm a water sign, she's a fire sign. Of course, like, there's like, it's opposites, right?
Right.
I don't know. Well, your friends, what are their signs? Fire signs? Because they be gaslighting you. They be like testing your patience. But no, I love my fire signs very much. They excite me, my life, all the time. But
I'm very clingy.
I'm clingy too, but only to romantic partners. Well, no, I can't say that. I've been clinging to friends.
Yeah. Just not me, because I take up most of the clinginess.
What?
You're not clingy to me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I take most of it.
But also I have trauma when it comes to attachments too. So, because I'm trying to unlearn my patterns. So I can't be clingy. Like, I'm trying to unlearn that. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Yeah, I'm trying to be healthy, but she just like, no. But anyways, besides that, I love our friendship. I gotta say that.
And I want to say this too, because I want you to acknowledge just how much I love you. It's like, I've actually never been this clingy with a friend before. Not that I've recognized. Like, on my other friendships, I feel like it's always been kind of mutual. But like, for you, like, I just want to like
she just
hold on
adores
to
me.
you like a koala. Yeah.
And I'm flattered. Thank you. But I guess I gotta say too, I was very clingy when I was in my mid-20s. So that's like a place when I didn't really love myself, and I like was very codependent. I think that's just really triggered it. But I think because I'm more whole now, I'm more put together, and I'm trying to be a healthy person. It's just like, I gotta recognize my bad patterns. I don't want to say bad patterns, but it's just my unhealthy patterns. So don't take it personal.
I try not to.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, I think Zaya, what she does best is communicating. Like, I love her so much. Like, I love that she asks, how can I support you? And I'm like, oh my god. And then I'm like, because it leaves me speechless. I'm like, Jan, what the fuck do I anyways, we're just going on and on. But yeah, I hope you guys got a lot of things, like, you know, a lot of things from our topic and our discussion on friendships. I hope you also evaluate or just reflect on your friendships. And we hope that you have people that support you as much as we have friends that support us as well.
Yeah, and if you are in a situation where you're not sure if you should keep someone, reevaluate, like, all the situations and challenges you guys have been together, and ask yourself if, you know, you fell off a boat with this person, jump in and save you.
Yeah.
And if that person can't swim, then you're on your own.
Give him a life jacket. No, but yeah, I think not only on your friends, like external, like the outside of you, but also like, what do you need in your life? Where you head in your life? Because I wholeheartedly believe that you gotta find people who are aligned with you as well, and where you're heading. Okay, so.
And if you're like, how do I even find these people? Go outside.
Yes. Go outside. Hey, we've been online. Well, then again, it was during pandemic, so don't give a shit.
Right. Well, yeah, go outside, go do stuff, join a club. If you aren't an outside person, go online. Go join a Facebook group.
Yeah. Join a cult.
Yes.
You'll find people just like you.
Yes. Like, we literally created a cult, though.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
And we're a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah, we are.
Single weirdos. I'm kidding. I love you guys.
I was never the single person, but
but she mothered us.
I mothered everybody. Yes, I nurtured everyone. That was my goal. But anyways, yeah, just
go out there.
Yeah, go out there.
Believe in yourself. Have some confidence. It's life is a journey, and having more people along the journey with you is truly worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that's all we gotta say.
All that being said, thank you so much for tuning in today. This one was a rather long podcast, but if you listened all the way to the end, thank you so much. Make sure that you follow us, subscribe, like our Facebook page and Instagram.
And we're also on TikTok.
And on TikTok.
Lumina Consulting Studio. Thank you so much for listening to our second episode. See you next month. Bye-bye.